Hello there, Cornwallis. Great to see you again. Hello there, Anton. What's up, Jose? Hey, Fang. Hi there, McCrow. How's my neck going? Pretty good. I've been really productive. I ran errands and got a bunch of readings done for clients. During the last week of September, my services were on sale. They're not now. That was just the last week of September. And whenever I do that, like, I get a massive influx of clients that can be really difficult to keep up with. But I managed to stay on top of it pretty easily this time. Took some getting used to. Yeah, most of the rituals my clients are waiting on were purchased today, so. Hello there, Serpent of Chaos. How difficult is it to get a spirit to physically manifest? I mean, if you mean physically, like you can see it with your own two eyes, it's not that hard. As for like actually being in physical form, that's extraordinarily difficult. I've never achieved it, I don't think. Hello there, Lena. My night's going well. I just answered that. Hello there, Jay the Sage. Demon Monastery has come to challenge me for Couch Lord Supremacy. Oh, shit. The power of the Couch Current will now be stripped away. So I'm getting some rest after that? Not yet. Live streaming is part of the job. But, tomorrow and the day after are going to be off days. I'm doing a hex after the live stream for a client. Do I do In Tranquil Spirits workings? No, I don't practice voodoo. Cryo says, Yo VK, I summoned demons years ago and they still be fucking with my mental. All forms of exorcism haven't worked. Well, I'm definitely not the guy you could come to banish demons. I teach people how to summon them. Yes, Jose, it's been achieved by a lot of different people. Just most either aren't open about it or aren't alive anymore. The magicians before the modern age, like in ancient times, were a lot more powerful than any of us are. Like, they used to train to crush boulders in the astral planes until they could do it physically. But yeah, if no exorcism is banishing the demons, then the problem might not be spiritual in nature. Lena prayed to the demon of the sofa, and he gave her 66 lovers. I'm glad to hear it. What's up, Ignis? I like the name Couch Jesus. Let's go with that from now on. Couch Jesus. CJ Jehoram from now on. Anton says, hey VK, if Samael and Lilith are married, how come Moloch and Lilith breed demons? Well, demons are rarely monogamous. Same with deities. Keep in mind, they're immortal. They aren't bound by space and time in the same way that we are. They're beyond human comprehension, so we can't really expect them to operate by normal human dating norms, you know? I've met, like, 2 spirits who are in a monogamous relationship, but that seems to be rare. Ignis says that he is pervert fire. Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. What about not getting a spirit to physically manifest, but simply to the point where you can see it with your 2 eyes? Well, there's 2 ingredients to being able to see a spirit. The first is continuously developing your psychic abilities, and the second is the spirit going out of their way to present themselves to you. And that can take time. That's partially because it's kind of freaky to see spirits sometimes, right? You know, people are scared of zombie movies. I've seen spirits with my own 2 eyes that appear as, like, floating corpse wizards, you know? Like, seeing a giant black dragon can be freaky. Seeing, like, a giant hand bigger than the size of my head, made of bone with claws coming out of it, like Samael appeared to me once, that's freaky sometimes. That's why they tend to take people kind of slow. They want to develop a certain level of trust with you before they push you off the deep end like that. Because people can and do freak out. For me, usually when I see a spirit super unexpectedly, it can be. Normally, I'm cool with it. Sometimes it's a little scary, but only in the same way that like a good thriller movie is kind of scary, like scary in a fun way, in a thrilling way. Every once in a while, I still see something that freaks me out for a bit. But that's just part of the getting used to it. Serpent has never gotten that level of manifestation. Kind of foggy when I do see them usually. Physical sounds awesome though. Yeah, it'll happen when spiritual experiences tend to happen when they're supposed to. Hi Navjiat. Lena says all the spirits appear attractive to her. She's a lucky lady. Yeah, I tend to see their more monstrous forms. Anton remembers seeing Belial. The spirit showed up in his reflection right behind him. He showed his hand first, then looked directly at him when he kept going. Cool. Ignis says that, yeah, if Resolva had let me see him fully, it would have scared the shit out of me. Like a 13-foot tall, long-ass skinny neck with a huge mask made of tree bark. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Noctulius, Amaimon, and Lucifer are all aspects of a metagod named Resolva. Jose petitioned Beelzebub to curse someone who wronged him a couple nights ago. Can you tell me whether or not he agreed to do it or not? I'm not sure. VK says, I just wanted to say thank you. Your YouTube shorts with certain entities have really helped him out a lot. There are 2 entities that I have pictures painted up on my wall. Very powerful. I'm glad to hear it, man. Jared just completed the 5th night of my invocation of Asmodee from Deathful Wombs. He plans on doing it every night of October. That's awesome. Man, it's been a while since I released that. Feels like ancient history. Everyone make sure you like the stream so more people see it. The more people hear, the more good questions we get. Sithra Core is part of Resolva too, right? Yeah. That's the part where it gets really complicated. I tend to leave that detail out because, well, it's confusing. Teach us something new real quick. I guess it depends on what it is. Jared says the book is not super beat up, but it's showing some age. Well, yeah, it is. I think I wrote that shit when I was like 24, 23. Or at least I released it when it was 23. I spent a year on it. Basically, when I was writing it, I came up with like a full draft, and the spirits came and said, hey, you don't know enough about the Qliphoth. Let us show you the truth. And then I had to like alter a bunch of sections. Serpent of Chaos says that my book was well worth the purchase. Glad to hear it. Out of curiosity, can people have more than one soulmate? Some people distinguish between soulmates and twin flames. I don't really use the term soulmate, so I don't know. The book is called The Grimoire of Deathful Wombs. What is the goal of integration of the shadow? Basically, it brings locked away psychic abilities, locked away strengths, and, you know, it helps you confront traumas that you need to heal from. It helps bring that all out of the unconscious into the conscious and helps you integrate it. I think, yeah, the book's still in print. Unfortunately, the publisher added more typos and didn't fix any of the ones I made. So it's not pretty, but I've heard it's good. Did I think the misconception people have about working with O9A entities is just because they don't reach them? I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. Yes, I am giving whispers I'm giving whispers for half of the spirits of the Tower of Umbra. But yeah, all-purpose whispers for like half of them. There's a lot. Has Yahweh actually told people that he only wants you to worship him and he's superior? Well, if oftentimes if you're an occultist and you're psychic enough to actually speak to him, he won't be dumb enough to request that. Any recommendations for occult realization in terms of awakening of the powers of nature of reality? Tapping into the soul components like philia and like the philia, aka spirit animal, as well as the higher self, that does a lot. Um, Regular meditation. A lot of black magicians write off the meditation where you focus on the fact that all things in the universe are one, like it's all just a sea of energy, so you're one with all things. A lot of black magicians write that off because they consider it right hand path, but that's also really helpful. How do I best get into the Undrisiac and Shadowmancy? I just use the technique from Rites in the 13 Tongues. Any recommendations on controlling lucid visions? I don't really do much dream work, so I can't really advise you there. I'm sorry. Any spell or spirit to help fall asleep? Yeah, I think there's some in the Grimorium Verum. I think Proculo was one. What do I think of Enoch's work, specifically the book of Soul Retrieval, on removing the chakras as a rite of power? Um, I haven't read Soul Retrieval, but I have found that the unification of the chakras into a singular energy center is very helpful. It is possible for people to get traumatized and accidentally kind of unintegrate them and then have to redo it. I can't say for sure that that happened to Enoch. Blade and Cloak has the same wall projector. Very cool. Got mine off Amazon. I just typed in Galaxy projector. Galaxy light I typed in. How difficult is it to invoke an angel and demon simultaneously? You already asked me that over Messenger. Not very. Any big plans for Halloween? Yes, but they're personal. Any more lives planned with anyone else? Not yet. I have to upgrade my iPhone before I can do that. Kotek says, yeah, chakras are not your energy centers. They are more like implants and you can remove them. I never viewed them as implants or as anything negative. I just think unifying them is better. But that's a matter of opinion, I guess. The Firebred Virgin was doing Saturday alchemy and felt the chakras start to unify. Oh, he deleted it. Kotek has a recommendation. All right. If it's a book recommendation, my reading list is already too long as is. Unless it's about Jinn. I need more books on those. How do you stop or limit repetitive thoughts while meditating? Practice. That's it. Ignice just finished Arimonic Yoga and it was hella mid. Didn't even teach the mudras. Yeah, I was never a fan of Ford. Well, I was in college, but I was like 19. Firebred Virgin was doing Saturnian alchemy and started feeling his chakras unify. Is this normal? Well, yeah, I unexpectedly unified my chakras by working with Saturnian alchemy. Would I be able to see the description of meditation I've sent? I'm not going to try your techniques, I'm sorry. Are there any demons good for becoming better in self-will and determination? Yes, Malthus and Rom, the Goetic demons. Hey, Sean. I look possessed? Well, I'm not at the moment. I think what you're witnessing is autism and ADHD, pal. Serpent of Chaos says all of Ford's books are kind of mid from the ones I've read. Yeah. The problem is, he doesn't view the spirits as spirits. He sees them as manifestation of his own consciousness. So that kind of limits him. Now, I have spoken to someone who was present at one of his rituals, and he said that the rite was really powerful. So I'm thinking like he is a potent practitioner, and he does have a real connection with the spirits to some degree, but he's kind of in denial of the fact that they are spirits. But hey, that's just word of mouth. I could be wrong. Hibiscus says, hey, hope it's going good. What do I think about the channeled phrase? I'm not trying other people's techniques. I'm sorry. Anton says, when Iblis talks about the destruction of the world universe, how do I think that would look? Basically, the veil collapsing. Dark and primordial spirits would have way more influence over the universe afterwards. Kotek says it's merging souls with a partner if they both want that. Afterlife becoming one bigger soul. Is it possible? Not sure. Wait, I think so. I don't see why you'd want to, but it's your soul. Hey, Eternal Flame. Peace to you as well. Is the veil collapsing something I see happening in this lifetime? I have no clue. Do I think spirits are part of our consciousness we haven't explored yet? Shimyaza, Nyx, and Ahriman implanted themselves as intrinsic components of human consciousness, but not the rest, to my understanding. There could be more that I don't know about, though. Do I think Quilili 2 would be good for dream work? Yes. So Shimyaza, Nyx, and Ahriman were external entities who predated this universe before they implanted themselves as components of human consciousness. I have to use the restroom real quick, so make sure you leave some more questions for when I get back. Do I have any method to contact and talk to Hecate? Well, yeah, I have a sigil for her and some magical chants on my WordPress, which now has a search bar, by the way. WordPress got updated and I was able to add one. Another good tip, if you're doing the ritual outside, is holding 2 tiki torches while you do it. Remember, Hecate is the only goddess in Greek mythology who is depicted holding 2 torches. Do I have any grimoires? If not, will you plain? I released the Grimoire of Deathful Wombs, and I wrote for 2 of the Bog compendiums, but that's it. Sorry for the accidental green screen. If Noctulius came from northern Italy, where did Segura come from? You mean Shigara? Well, there's a Japanese-ish, forgot what her current username is, but she's linked on my WordPress. She was a generational witch, so she is Japanese. She was raised to be a witch like her parents are. She knew about Shigara from her parents. And she developed a temporary interest in the O9A because they also work with this spirit that she'd only heard about from word of mouth. When she made her video, she said she thought that she was always told that the name Shigara was... She was always told that the name Shigara meant autumn rain, but she wasn't sure whether or not it was true. That's just what she was told. So I'm acquainted with the woman. We haven't spoken in a while, but I did some digging and I found a Japanese word, shigare, which means autumn rain. So I was able to confirm her tradition, her family tradition, with my own research. So I view Shigara as a Japanese death goddess. I do plan on writing more books in the future, but it won't be anytime soon. Favorite pizza flavor? Honestly, usually when I get pizza, I'm in the mood for like cheese pizza with extra sauce, but sometimes I get meat lovers. I've tried some veggie pizzas that were really good too. Oh God. Kotek says that they just moved to Athens, Greece. Do I have any tips, spirits, or anything to work in here? Never been to Greece, so I can't help you. Hey, Sicario. Do I know how to raise the dead, or have I seen it done? I have not seen it done, nor do I know how. Are there any spirits to help regulate dopamine? I guess Phoenix. He can cause any type of psychological, spiritual, or physiological change you want. Did I work with Heya Griva? No. I've tried pineapples on pizza. It gets way more hate than it deserves, but I don't like it. What about meat lover pizza with cheese stuffed crust and garlic butter crust? I've always just gotten normal crust, to be honest. I have not tried DMT, but I have found that the jesters that some people who try it report seeing, they can be summoned without being on DMT or any other drugs. I actually have a sigil and some summoning chants for them on my WordPress. Should you pray to death itself every day? Probably not. Are ancestral spirits linked to the family tree of my current incarnation? Yes, I believe so. Maybe it's different in some other traditions, but I would say yes. What beings are connected to the owl and use them as messengers? Zagan has an owl aspect. Lilith is related to owls. There are others, but... Oh, Odin. I think Odin is connected to owls. Are the jesters nice? Yeah, but you can't really communicate with them. They just dance and laugh, and their laughter kind of just elevates human consciousness by hearing it. Adrian Garcia is going to summon the spirit of Papa John's now. What if you feel zero connection to your ancestors? Well, you can always change that. Have I ever worked with Chinnamasta? I don't think so. Have I ever seen a dream about being in a meat factory? I haven't. Sicario doesn't feel any desire to connect with her ancestors. Can I reject them? Yes. There's a technique in my, wait, no, there isn't. Never mind. Isn't Stolas connected with owls? Oh, wait, yeah, him. Sorry, I blanked on that one. Serpent of Chaos says Santa Muerte is connected to owls too, right? Yeah. She uses crows too to let me know she's around. Are there any interesting stuff you can do regarding your past lives? Can you interact with that version of ourselves in some interesting way? Yeah, you can kind of get partially possessed with your past lives or even communicate with them. Shaggy created a... Okay. Is Loki nice or more of a joke's on you, Trickster? Um, I haven't had any difficulty with Loki. All of his jokes have been pretty harmless that I've seen, but I don't work with them that closely. I think trickster spirits tend to act more trustworthy when you approach them with trust. How can I connect with the ancestors more? I only know how to connect with my ancestors, so I can't help you. The Firebred version said that Satania and Athena have owl aspects. Have I had dreams about my past life? Not dreams, but visions. Ignis, the pervert fire says, last Halloween, doing rituals in the woods at night, an owl was hooting at me for a while. Awesome. Lena says many spirits would act exactly how you're expecting if you're calm and trusting. Awesome. Yeah, that's true. Any crazy experiences lately? Seeing the true form of Chavajoth, that was pretty wild. How long did it take me to be able to access the Akashic Records? Well, I kind of just randomly realized I could do it, so I don't know how long into my practice it was before I could access them. So I guess... I think I was 10 years when I realized I could access them to find people's true names. Granted, I had not been pursuing the ability to do that, so it could probably be quicker for a lot of y'all. Is there anything significant when dreaming about a white snake with gold spots? Probably. I know Valak really likes to give snake-related dreams. What's the point of past lives? Are they just distractions? Yeah, I was told that they aren't that useful. I had one past life where I was a gladiator, and a really good one at that. So I was trying, I was like an insecure young man. So I was trying to like integrate that past lives strength and combat ability into this body. And my guide straight up told me, like, look, don't try to integrate your past life. Look to the future. Kotek has had an experience of laying on a big pentagram, like only made from light. No body behind him. 12 apostles. It looked like they were doing a ritual so I can come to Earth. Oh, awesome. Ignis says, to be clear, the fire is not perverted. It's a huge pile of perverted corpses that are burning. My bad. Hey, Paul. Should a divine name be kept secret? Yes. What did Chavajoth look like? Huge, big dragon head, tentacles with, like, teeth. The true forms of metagods are extraordinarily hard to put into words. Do I think my past lives have a lot of trauma that I didn't heal or integrate? I don't think that would affect me. But I'm sure the gladiator one had a lot of unhealed trauma when he finally died. Locke's dreams about his past lives are just the moments where he dies and then he wakes up in this current moment. Oh, damn. Zebra on the Edge always liked snakes, though, so all snakes are cute to me. Nice. Is there any spirit to help a woman be a better match for her partner? Quilili too. That would work for both men and women. Matthew was just on JS's stream. Do I procure tutelage for those in the path of Meijurai? Procure tutelage. I don't, if you mean offer mentorship, no, I don't mentor anybody. On the rare occasions that I have had apprentices, they've been in like local friends, and I haven't charged them. It's been a long time though. Is the infernal path more direct than, say, two things I haven't heard of? Could be. Why her? She's just good for relationships. Baal should be too, given that he rules the Cliffa of Venus. I imagine Aphrodite as well. How to filter the incoming energy when doing vampirism? You could easily, like, put it through a quartz crystal. I have a special technique that's kind of only mine to use for that. Why do you feel like Vala could be really chill, personality-wise? She's quite friendly, but she's also, like, tricky and unpredictable and chaotic when you're working with her. Or him. He has male and female aspects, both of which I've worked with. If you have a very specific fantasy you can't fulfill in the material world, you assume you can fulfill it when you ascend? Probably. What are my favorite incense blends? My favorite is Satya's Midnight Incense. Dark spirits love it, so does Santa Muerte. Silasia is so badass, I'm surprised more people don't work with her. Well, I recorded her myself, and it was a pretty short entry. Plus, you have to undergo a rite of soul dedication to work with her, so there's that. Sicaria says, oh, by the way, the chakra repair sigil worked for me. It healed his solar chakra. That's awesome. Multiple times, so I really wanted to stop. Igni says he needs to try that. Dragon's blood and cinnamon is amazing. Coconut, vanilla, and copal is intoxicatingly good. Hell yeah. Sean gave a Mordekath some Satya's Dragon's Blood incense the other day. Hell yeah. What incense did I say? Midnight Incense from a brand called Satya. That's Satya. Breaking addictions like nicotine. If you want to use magic to break an addiction, you should really go to the spirits and ask which spirits you should work with and how to go about it. Do I know anything about the Freemasons? Nah, I don't. Do I think I could help you with your baneful rites? Well, yeah, I do offer curse work and hex work as a service. I also offer a service called the Blessing of the Warmonger, which permanently empowers the recipient for baneful magic and more. Ignis says that Satya's Dragon's Blood is kind of mid. The best brand, in his opinion, is Wild Berries. I'll have to look into that. Lena makes rum, night flowers, and cinnamon incense. Nice. Is it okay to pray to Dracula? Sure, but if he appears to you, make sure you kneel, don't make eye contact, and call him Lord. I've never really prayed to him. Wait, I think I have. What particular curse listing would I recommend for someone that vile? Just a single curse. The curse ritual is designed to permanently ruin someone's life. I usually don't add specific intents to it. Like, I don't say I specifically want a car accident. I say ruin their life in whatever way and make it permanent. That way, the spirits have room to be creative because they're often more creative than we are. Yeah, it's only $130, and yeah, I'll fuck someone up with that. I also have, cursed books that were kind of inspired by death notes, but non-lethal. Whenever I'm hired to curse someone, I usually write their names in some of those books just to make sure it's extra thorough and no one can remove it. Ignace says, hibiscus and mimosa is super, super exotic like a jungle. Amdusius' favorite. Hell yeah. Is midnight and midnight bloom the same incense? I don't think so. Hello, Sephiroth. Good morning to you as well. It's 10 p.m. here. Hey, Samael. Any more info on creating such books? Just the instructions on my Patreon. I've got cursed books for various clothothic spheres. They're pretty easy to create and activate and use. Zebra has the death note that J.S. Garrett released? Hell yeah. Is Yaldabaoth the same spirit as Yahweh? I don't think so. I think Yaldabaoth is just another name for Archangel Samael. And for context, I think Samael the Black and Archangel Samael are the same being. I also do not believe in a demiurge. Did I use Joy of Satan? That was the first website I came across. I don't recommend that shit. Mr. Aphiles remembers S. Connolly had a book on creating books of various kinds. Very nice. Do spirits kind of look down on asking them for material stuff? No. They expect you to work and thrive in this world. So no Abraxas? If you mean the sinister rite of Abraxas, I usually wait till after the first week of the month. That way everybody has enough time to resolve potential payment issues. So I give them like a week, you know? Samael is constantly hungry and feels pains as he opens his black flame. Maybe you did it in an unsafe way. Zebra says that every time I say Samael, his cat looks up from his bed. Nice. Samael, 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 Samael. Oh, no, Abraxas is the one true avatar of the universe. He's friendly. Why don't more people work with Samael the Black? I think a lot of people work with him. I don't know what you're talking about. Thoughts on Abraxas or experiences with him? Yeah, so basically he is the avatar of this created universe. So when you summon him, the consciousness of the universe we live in is creating an avatar of him, of itself, like a mini-me. Now remember, this universe is created. That means Abraxas is not primordial. He does work in combination with demons, in a collaboration with demons to make this universe more and more infernally influenced. You can be a very good guide. I like him. He's shown me like some crazy gnosis before. Hat. Gotcha, Zebra. I mentioned Paimon likes to be portrayed in entertainment, but what are other beings' opinions on being portrayed in media? For example, Lilith is in the game Diablo 4. I don't know. If someone who tries to trap demons and abuse them comes around you, could the demons around you attack them? I have a fucked up story. Possibly. How intense was the practice of gnosis? Very. It was an out-of-body experience where he showed me, like, the reality of the Clifothic overlords, the 11. It was so intense that I, like, freaked out and, like, snapped back to my body. It was a while ago. What was my oh shit, magic is real moment? I just knew it was, to be honest. Super weird question, but is it odd to get living plants to dedicate to patron deities instead of traditional statuettes? Probably not. Wouldn't be surprised if Dagdagiel liked one. Or Rahab, given that they're a nature demon. Is there any spirit that can provide this sense of, how do I say, that sense of being... Sorry, the chat moved. That sense of being with someone, warmth, companionship, currently a little alone, and never felt the sense of presence from any guide? If you mean this, I'll go with Selene. Selene's very friendly. That's the Greek goddess of moonlight. She's a titan. Igni says, basically, the dude thought I was going to curse him because he works with demons. He admitted to me that he tries to trap and abuse them. So he cursed you first. Then the next day had multiple seizures. Well, yeah, that's your spirit's protecting you. What a dumbass. How can you honor Lord Zazazel more? Offerings, I guess. Nightly prayers. That's not really my tower. It's like they are there, but it's not this feeling. Zebra got Hagentia a peach tree and Citri a cherry tree. Hell yeah. Serpent of Chaos grows some nightshades to use as offerings. They tend to like them. Those that are connected to those plants, anyway. Ignis never heard from the person who tried to curse him again. His friends told me about it. He was just like, damn. That's funny as hell. How can you help someone sleep using rites without them being involved with the current? They don't have to be involved with the current for you to cast beneficial spells on them. Samael says that Zazazel loves bones as offerings. Hell yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. Thank you all so much for coming. Have a great night and enjoy.